You're wrapping your cables wrong. Today we're here at the beautiful RAIN event space. I'm set up as the DJ for tonight's party, and today I'm going to show you how to wrap your cables the best way right here in this video. Check it out. There's lots of different types of cables. Now, you may not be a musician as I am, so you may be dealing with blender cables or toaster oven cables or lawnmower cables. But today we're going to be talking about music cables and instrument cables. I have a few different types, and I'm not really going to focus on the different types of cables. What I'm going to really focus on is how to wrap them to make them last a really long time and to make them really perform well over many, many years. So, the technique is really the same for all different cables. I have an XLR cable here. I have a little power cable here. Here I have an instrument cable for a guitar or a keyboard. Here I have an extension cord, and here I have a little RCA to 1/8 inch cable that you could use for your iPhone or something like that. I'm just going to put these down for a second and explain. Some people have very weird ways of wrapping their cables. They open up this bag, they wrap it over their arm, they throw it in the bag, and then they just hope for the best. Those cables go bad after a couple of years, or sometimes not even that long, and they need to be replaced. And that gets really expensive, especially when you have a lot of cables. So let me show you some of the things not to do before I show you the best way. All right, so I'm just going to undo this cable tie here, and we have our cable. We're just going to let it out here, and you can take a look here at our cable. A lot of people do this. They'll take the cable, and they'll just start wrapping it on their arm like this. You can see I'm a little uncomfortable here. I'm a little bit like not feeling the most comfortable, but I'll tell you something. Not only am I not comfortable, but look at this cable. Now you have to remember that inside these cables is a very thin metal wire, and that's what's electrically transmitting your audio signal down the cable. If you wrap it this way, what you're doing is quirking and twinking the wire. Is twinking a word? Twinkies? You're tweaking the wire, you're messing up the wire. You're messing up the cable. So don't do that. Watch this. I'm just gonna let the cable kind of fall naturally, and you see that as I let it fall, it comes back to its straight position. And that's really the way you want it. Now I'll show you one more way to not wrap your cables. A lot of people do this type of thing. They take the two ends of the cable, they put the ends together, and then they start folding the whole thing. Like they'll take the whole thing like this, fold it in half, then they'll take it again, they'll fold it in half again, take it in half, they'll fold it in half again, and I've even seen some people like tie a knot in it at the end. What? What are you talking? Why would you do this? That's like if you're a guitar player taking your guitar and kicking it and then throwing it on the ground and hoping that it's going to work well. Anyway, this is not the way to wrap cables either. So that time has come. I'm going to show you the very best way to wrap cables. Actually, first I'm going to show you the second best way. The second best way to wrap cables is called over-over. And here's what you do. You take your cable in your fingers and you twist like this. As you're twisting, you're encouraging the cable to start kinking. So you just twist, let go of that end, just twist and make a loop. Then the next time you just twist again and make a loop. Don't pull to make the loop, twist. Always twisting. And I'm twisting the cable, and I'll just keep twisting till it makes the loop that I want, and I'll keep twisting forward. This is called over-over. Why? Because we're going over the previous piece of cable. I'm going over, and then I'm going over. And then you have a nicely wrapped cable. Now you could see that the other cables were all kind of tangled. This one is just kind of hanging very calmly. This is a really well-wrapped cable, but this is only the second best way to wrap cables. If you want to know the best way, I'm going to show you over-under. So just throw out your cable again, get it nice and straight. See all these kinks that we created from wrapping poorly. Okay? And now what we're going to do is we're going to wrap over-under. And what you do here is you twist for the over, and then after you have an over, then you twist the other way to go under. And you make them about the same size. Just fill up this space. Now, the next one is going to be over. The next one is going to be under. Why is it under? Because it's under the previous one. Now over, now under. Now what's so great about this type of wrapping? The best thing about this type of wrapping is it forms kind of a figure-8 pattern. If you kind of look at the last two rings, comes out like this as a figure-8. This is the way the metal inside the cable wants to lay. And this is the way the metal is most comfortable and lasts the longest. So again, you have to keep track if you're over or under. Right now I'm going to go over. Next one is under, then over. And you could see from our first cable to this one how much better they look. And then if you're a real pro, you take a little cable tie and you just kind of close it up. Then you're able to put it away in a bag or in a suitcase. Now I'm going to show you this works for any type of cable. So if you take this cable, I'll put that down. The next type I have here is just a regular power cable. All right, take off the cable tie here, release it, over, under, over. These are a little thicker, so you have to be careful because you may have this tendency to start pulling at it to try and win. You can't do that. You got to keep twisting. You want to keep here twisting. Under, over. And you see it comes out just perfect. And then you take this, wrap it up. All right, what else do we got here? We got an instrument cable. This cable's a lot longer, but this technique of over-under wrapping works equally well with long and short cables. So you could just release your cable and then just start wrapping over and under. If you get some of the knots, that probably means that whoever wrapped this cable the last time did not do over-under. All right, so over and under. Over and under. And once you get good at it, as you practice, you can start getting much faster. So over and under and over and under. And you just keep that. Now here, I'm getting to a spot where it's not wanting to go where I want. Just keep twisting. Keep twisting until it does what you want. You're in charge, not the cable. Don't fight with it. And then you could see even a very long cable like this one, I think this is probably a 30-foot instrument cable, even a very long cable just hangs very, very loosely. Take your cable tie and on. And I'll just show you one more type of cable here. Could be a little RCA cable, or this could work for your cable for your iPad or your toaster oven or your iPhone or anything you want to use. In this case, you could make the loop a little smaller. It doesn't really matter that much how the loop is made or how big it is. What matters most is that you're wrapping, you're twisting, and that you're going over under. Okay, over and under. And then what you do is you have a nicely wrapped cable, you take your cable tie and tie it up. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Shir Soul Sound, where today we taught you the very best way to wrap cables. I really appreciate you joining us. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to this video. Leave us a comment and let us know what you'd like to learn about next. And we'll see you next time. Take care.